Stephen Webb returned for his third game on Jeopardy. He won a 2-day total of $60,701. Laura Donegan is from Towson, Maryland, just like the Donegan twins. In fact, she's their mother. I think this might be the first instance when 3 family members played on Jeopardy in such a short time span. Or at all. So far I can only recall times when it was 2 different family members. Someone help me on that. Ken Jennings' introduction was, "Welcome to Jeopardy! It was a slam dunk for our champion Stephen Webb in Final Jeopardy yesterday, as he was the only player to come up with the Harlem Globetrotters, scoring him his second win." I love that intro. Now we've had 3 2-day champions in a row, so this is the match where we find out if Stephen can break the streak, or if Laura or Will be celebrating becoming a new Jeopardy champion as we head into the weekend. I hope Laura wins just so the family reunions can include 3 former Jeopardy champions. Speaking of former Jeopardy champions and reunions, today is the last game before the high school reunion tournament, which we'll take a look at. Landon Donovan, 2012. Laura Donegan buzzed in and answered, "What is the NASL?" which is incorrect. Then Stephen buzzed in and answered, "What is MLS?" which Ken told him, the successor to the NASL, yes. I also like how close the name Landon Donegan is to Laura Donegan. In the Holocene epoch, we've had a medieval cool period from 1250 to 1500, and little one of these just after. The answer was Little Ice Age, which I knew because I did research on the medieval warming period for fun. A cliff-dwelling national monument named for this people can be found near Tonalea, Arizona. Stephen buzzed and answered, "What are the Pueblo?" which is incorrect. Will buzzed and answered, "Who are the Anasazi?" which is incorrect. Laura buzzed and answered, "Who are the Zuni?" All 3 were wrong, which Ken told them, "No harm, no foul. None of you knew it was the Navajo." I like the no harm, no foul comment just because Alex Trebek. Meanwhile, Navajo came up a lot on Jeopardy. Will got the first daily double, waited 1,000, got it right, and went to 1,000. While in this city, belly up to the bar at the saloon called the horse he came in on, which has a designated C in Poe's last stop. The answer was, what is Baltimore, since Poe passed away in Baltimore. I read some of Poe's poetry in an American literature class. Will Travis's anecdote is that he wasn't those famous Will Travis. People who have had Texas history class will stop me and be like, "Hey, you're famous." Ken told him, "Well, I bet you're a better accountant than he was." Will answered, "As far as I remember, he wasn't very good with money." Ken ended by telling him, "That's what I'd expect. I'm glad it's you today, not him." There's a Texas history class. Laura's anecdote, of course, mentioned the Donegan twins. Laura Donegan is a physician from Towson, Maryland. Now you have 2 kids who have actually been on Jeopardy in the past, with their husband who you met in an unusual situation. The anecdote was about bungee jumping with them. Ken told her, "Well, we got 3 contestants out of it, so I'm glad you did." Now I wish I went over Kristin Donegan's games in the National College Championship Tournament. Stephen's anecdote was about a trip to Nicaragua, and funny enough, he mentioned his friend Will while facing a contestant named Will. Fan favorites including pesto, egg toast, and ramen lasagna are featured in as cooked on this social media platform. Nobody buzzed in to answer TikTok, which might be a good thing actually. I wonder if Sarah Snyder would have known this. The view of this Texas city around the Tower of the Americas might spur some memories. Laura buzzed and answered, "What is San Antonio?" which is correct. I wish Will answered since he's from Texas and he mentioned Texas in his anecdote. A Fargo Visitors Center display one of these machines, the Eager Beaver model in a Coen Brothers film. Stephen buzzed answered, "What is a wood chipper?" and Ken said, "Magnificent," after Ken told him it was correct. Laura ended the first round winning $2,000 even. Will was in second place at $3,000 even, and Stephen was in the lead at $4,000 even. They're all $1,000 apart. Stephen got the first daily double in Double Jeopardy. He made it a true daily double, got it right. That was $12,800. In a 1997 film, Stephen Fry played this Irish poet and dramatist while Jude Law played Lord Alfred Douglas. The answer was Oscar Wilde. I always thought Oscar Wilde was English. I read The Importance of Being Earnest in one of my classes before the pandemic, and I'll read it later this semester for my British literature class. I know Matthew Marcus would have got this. It also mentions Stephen Fry, the host of British Jeopardy, and Stephen, the namesake of Stephen Webb. He got both daily doubles. Will got the second daily double in Double Jeopardy for $6,000. Unfortunately answered wrong and went down to $4,200. Accidentally grazed by one of Cupid's arrows, Venus fell in love with this handsome youth. The answer was Adonis, as Venus said Adonis. So that's where Shakespeare got the inspiration of his first poem from. That's a new camera angle. The star Polaris is at the end of it. Will buzzed and answered, "What is the Big Dipper?" which is incorrect. Then Stephen buzzed and answered, "What is the Little Dipper?" which is correct. And speaking of Shakespeare, in Shakespeare in Love, Rupert Everett has an uncredited role as this contemporary of Shakespeare. The answer was Christopher Marlowe, which was the answer of the final Jeopardy round when James Holzhauer lost. It was the answer to the first Daily Double in Double Jeopardy on Ryan Long's 14th game, and he came up 2 games in a row on Ray Lalonde's run. Laura ended Double Jeopardy winning $4,800. Will was in second place at $7,400, and Stephen was at a runaway lead at $23,200. That true Daily Double really helped him. The final Jeopardy category was National Parks. The question was, it was named for a river indigenous people called Mitsi-Adazi, translated by French-speaking tappers as Pierre Jean. Rock in French is Pierre, and yellow in French is Jean. Yellowstone National Park. The answer was Yellowstone. Will was the only one to answer correctly. Yes, that's literally what Pierre Jean means in French. Stephen risked $3,270, taking his score down to $19,930, and is at a 3-day total of $80,631. Congratulations to Stephen. Let's see if he can win a 4th game. And as always, thank you for watching.